Yes, everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well. Happy Thursday afternoon. We're on the road to the Emirates, but it is Hammers Headlines in association with the. I should have done that. Hammers Headlines in association with the KUMB.com. Boys, check them out as per usual for latest news reviews. Oh, a bit. That's better. News reviews and opinions. Now, this morning I did a reasons to be cheerful piece. There's a lot of doom and gloom about West Ham at the moment. But I think we're on the cusp of something. And how often have we said that we're on the cusp of something? But in terms of the academy, someone asked me to do a bit more of an in-depth chat about the academy. So ask and thou shall provide. Talking about the players who could potentially step up, and the fact is, I think the academy's in a really good place now. And we've got the production line running. We've got buying in players to go into the academy as well to then progress into the pathway. I think things aren't all doom and gloom when it comes to West Ham. And I think, we're entering, and again, it feels like rinse and repeat for the last 3 years, a pivotal last few months to go into a pivotal summer in terms of Graham Potter identifying what he needs, who needs to go, all that type of stuff. And obviously we had the David Moyes press conference. That was a Freudian slip. We had the Graham Potter press conference earlier on and sort of spoke about updates on Lucas Paqueta and stuff like that, as you would imagine as well. But I want to talk about some rumours. Yeah, I know we're in a transfer rumours. It doesn't open. I know, but we are working. The club are working diligently to try and hit the ground running because we need to. Basically, we've seen in the last year what a slow transfer transfer window beginning has to the detriment of the season. And Potter has a lot of decisions to make on existing players, and him and Carl McCauley need to have a real plan. And it seems that we are already looking at that plan in terms of particularly the free transfer market. It might be something maybe talk about maybe at the weekend. It seems we are looking at a lot of players who will be free transfers. So such as, I'm not going to talk about him here as well, but what's his name? Kyle Walker-Peters seems to be something we're looking at as well. But in terms of others, it's been reported, there he is, that West Ham are in talks and have been in talks in conversations with Jonathan David's advisors ahead of a potential free move. Not potential free move, he is moving for free this summer from Lille. He made his actions or his thoughts very clear to Lille, sort of going into January. And he's arguably the most hot prospect free transfer this summer. There will be a number of clubs interested in him, but West Ham reportedly made contact with his agents to discuss potentially signing for West Ham. Now, this could be, pie in the sky. We all pie in the sky, and usually most transfers are. But the fact is, Jonathan David could have signed a pre-contract agreement with a Barcelona, with a Man United, with an Arsenal, with a Liverpool. He could have signed that in January when he could, but he hasn't yet. No clubs have signed him yet, so he's still obviously thinking, or he's still mulling over, or maybe the options that he thought, or we were led to believe he was reported to have in front of him, he hasn't had yet. So West Ham maybe could have stolen a march. We don't know. Ex-WHU employee reported that we've met his agents over a potential move, and as I said, he's highly sought after. And yeah, I mean, if you don't buy a raffle ticket, you're never going to win a goldfish. That's all I'm going to say. But it's true, though. It's like, you don't ask, you don't get. That's always been my philosophy in life. And at the moment, we don't, if you're looking at the league table, looking at social media as well, we don't look an attractive prospect at the moment. But Potter has only been in charge for a month, really, month and a bit. And despite the results not coming, it seems there's like a groundswell that's going to erupt eventually. I just feel like it has. I think like we're starting to put things in place. We're starting to right the wrongs that we had under Lopetegui, and under the end of the David Moyes era. I don't think we've really come out of that bit properly yet. Out of sort of the end of the David Moyes era, which turned rather sour. That sort of season. When we obviously won the Europa Conference League, and then arguably maybe he should have left then. I've always said I think West Ham did the wrong option. They had three options. They could have backed him, sacked him, or carried on. Well, not sacked him, but that type of thing. And they let him carry on. And I think that was a detriment to the club. And I think that's probably put us back about at least a year, I reckon. But anyway, let's see. Let's see what happens in the summer. As I said, there's a fruitful market for the free transfers, and I think West Ham will be exploring that quite a bit to save some dollar. As we know, it's the cash flow is king. Although we're okay on PSR and stuff like that, it's having the cash to spend is the other thing. Another player we've been linked with, which let's get what the idea. We're led to believe that maybe Nicholas Falkirk could be leaving in the summer, and his replacement could be Tammy Abrahams. So we let one injury-prone striker go, and another one comes in. According to reports, West Ham are lining up another injury-prone striker. It suggests that we probably we don't know what's happening with Evan Ferguson, but it's open season when Evan Ferguson goes back in the summer with no obligation. We've got no. There may well be a gentleman's agreement, but we don't know about that in terms of first dibs. But obviously, we'll be desperate for some sort of firepower. We're led to believe that we could see Michail Antonio on the grass before the end of the season, according to reports. So that would be interesting. But Danny Ings' contract will be. I can't see that being extended. I can see Mickey being offered a 1-year extension, potentially. But it's been suggested that Tammy Abrahams is a potential target. Can't see it happening, to be honest, in all honesty. I think maybe a backup target if we don't get Evan Ferguson, if he comes out of the loan spurt successful. But then it's almost like we're trying to set up tier, and I think Moyes used to do that. He had like an A list, a B list, and a C list. And it seems that we're starting to put our ducks in a row ahead of the summer transfer window. And I hope that we will be the most on it side, because in essence we've got this extended pre-season really, so decisions made on the current squad would be made before the end of the season really, so we can start afresh and get people going and get free transfers through the door on pre-season agreements, pre-contract agreements, such as like Daniel Cummings and people like that. So. And also then there's an assessment with the academy, which players are coming back, which players are going to go back out on loan. So we've got all our ducks in a row come the end of the season so we can hit the ground running. And hopefully go to America on the American tour if we're led to be believed and we stay up. With that being the only issue that we're looking at the moment is actually staying in the Premier League to be in a Premier League tournament. And lastly, another player who could be out the door being Lucas Paqueta, and obviously news came out yesterday of being out for the next 3 weeks of his ankle, sustained in training. Absolutely typical. But it does seem that with that, and also the hearing happening, there's rumours of him going back to Brazil. I think, not the writings on the wall for Lucas at all, but it's starting to pile up a little bit on him in terms of staying at West Ham. So naturally, we'll have contingency plans in place, and one of the contingency plans being the Atalanta midfielder, Charles Aguilera. Now, according to reports, we were interested in signing him. We've been interested in signing him for a while, actually. He was on the radar when it was at AC. I think he was at Club Brugge beforehand. We were interested in him. But West Ham apparently identified him as a concrete option to replace the Brazilian if he leaves the club. We're not the only one who have identified him. Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa, Spurs, Newcastle, Man City are all interested in him, who's valued around £31 million according to Transfer Market. He's entering the final 2 years of his contract, so therefore Atalanta might be open to do a deal next summer to make, or this summer coming, to make the most of the profit out of his departure. Because then after that, come the January, he'll be entering the last 18 months, and it does dwindle. He's a left-footed midfielder, left-footed forward really, but he's essential. He's centre forward. He can also play attacking midfield, which is where I think he'll be utilised best. He's a tall lad as well, and a very good player. Very good player. 23 as well, so great age. Belgian international as well. So look, we're sort of lining up contingency plans here. As always rumours, there are rumours, and I think I've always liked Charles. I think he's a good player. Whether we get him is another thing. There's loads of other clubs who could offer him a lot more. So that's going to be the issue, and I think that's the issue we had probably last season as well, last summer, in that we underestimated the pool of having Europe had on our recruitment. Would we have got Mahmoud Kudus? Would we have got Paqueta if we weren't in Europe? Don't think we would, in all honesty. And so I think that was part of the reason. As I said, that's part of the reason why I think. Sorry, I've got such itchy nose. Part of the reason why I think the Todibo deal took so long, because Juventus could offer him a lot more than we could in terms of European football, and maybe we had to offer him a little bit more on the old Bunsen burner. And then that obviously puts pressure on PSR and stuff as well. But anyway, we crack on as per usual. Anyway, have a lovely rest of the day. Keep it on the channel, and we'll bring you any breaking news or stuff like that. And until next time, take care. Stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, and come on, you bloody irons. Much love. Take care. Bye. Bye.